Hello, you coin aficionados out there, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we have the 1, 2, 5, and 10 Pfennig coins for you from the Federal Republic of Germany, or West Germany as we used to call it. We see here's the 1 here, 2, 5, and 10. And we see that they don't necessarily have a graduated system of size based on value. So the 1 is smaller than the 2, but the 2 is bigger than the 5, and then the 10 is bigger than all of them. And to make it even more confusing, when we bring the 50 Pfennig coin in, we see that the 50 Pfennig coin is smaller than the 10 and slightly larger than the 5, and almost the same exact size as the 2. So we kind of have a interesting, obviously it has the reeded edge on it. So many countries don't necessarily have a graduated sizing for their currency. And of course, the United States is a good example. They have the 1 cent coin is smaller than the nickel or 5 cent, but then the dime or 10 cent coin in the US is smaller than all of them, and then it starts getting bigger again. So in Germany, the smallest coin is the 1, the second smallest is the 5. The third and fourth smallest are the 50 and the 2, and then there's the 10. But we want to concentrate on these 4 coins right here. Right now, they're all from 1971. And as you can see, there are different materials in them, and you can tell that just by looking at them. This isn't some kind of wear thing or anything else. They're all from 1971. But the 1 and 2 Pfennig coins are both copper-clad steel. So what is copper-clad steel? Essentially, they take copper and they put it over the top of steel. And actually, you can see the line in there. See that copper and see the steel? If you tip it up on its edge, you can actually see the copper cladding on there, or essentially copper coating. So these are copper clad or copper coated steel. And then the 5 and the 10 are a different material, and they are brass clad steel. So in other words, this is a brass material on top, and that one you can that's a beauty, isn't it? See how the brass is on top of the steel here? So these are all going to be magnetic coins. However, the 2 wasn't always magnetic, but from 1967 on it was. So when we look at the 1, 2, the 5, and the 10, we see that they have very similar characteristics to them. They all have the 2 ears of rye. They all have the Pfennig at the bottom, Pfennig, and then they all have a space at the top, and in that space, that's where the mint mark is. So if we look at these coins, we see that there is a J on this one and this one. There is a, let's see if we can tip this one up. Let's blow it up actually a little bit. There's a D on this one and an F on this one. See that J? There's a J, J, F, D. So we know that there's at least 3 different mints, right? The J, the F, and the D. And it turns out that in 1971, there were more than 3 different mints. There were 4 different mints. And that was D for Munich. So this is D. This is a Munich mint. F for Stuttgart. J for Hamburg. And then there was also a G, and that was the Karlsruhe mint. And we don't have the G here, but there were, so in 1971, there were 4 mints. Now, those of you who are German coin collectors say, hey, wait a second, there's an A mint also, an A mint mark from Berlin. Well, the A mint mark from Berlin didn't come around until 1990, so none of these coins in 71 could have had an A mint mark on them because the Berlin Mint wasn't producing these coins with a mint mark in 1971. If we turn them over, we can actually see that they are from 71, and we see the young oak sprout here, another oak sprout here, and see the 71, 71. When we turn them on this side, it's very hard to see the difference because they all have the same back side on them. And these particular coins had the same image on both sides, other than the date, from 1950 on. uh, so essentially from all the post-war years. And these coins here were all made from 1950 until 2001. Now, many of you know what 2001 meant, and that was the end of Germany's own coins and their movement to the euro, which they moved to in 2002. So these coins all look the same, they have the same image. They all had the same image from 1950 until 2001. There was a slight change to sometimes the lettering on some of these was like wider or thinner. And then, of course, as I said, the two Pfennig went from a non-magnetic to a magnetic in 1967, I believe. And so when you look at these coins, they're all going to look similar no matter what the year. Now the 50 Pfennig coin looks very different, and let me show you that one. On the 50 Pfennig coin, and of course this is a 1967, which is the same as the 71, same characteristics. It's the woman planting the oak tree, and that's just a magnificent engraved image on there. As you can see here, she's kind of kneeling down, planting the oak into the ground, and you can see the roots coming out, and she's dug a little hole here. So this is the 50 Pfennig coin, and that's different from all of the others. And of course, once you get past 50 Pfennig, you get up to 1 Deutschmark, and that coin is quite different and doesn't keep any of these stylings. Now, this coin engraving on this particular coin was all done by R. Werner, or Werner, I guess you could say. It's Werner was the engraver. And they all say Bundesrepublik Deutschland on all of them. You can see that Bundesrepublik Deutschland on the 50 Pfennig coin. It says Bundesrepublik Deutschland also, but it's on the other side. All right. Well, that's all we have for our 1971, 1, 2, 5, and 10 Pfennig coins from Germany, with a guest appearance by the 50 Pfennig coin from 1967. I'm going to blow them up a little bit so you can see them a little bit. Look how detailed these leaves are on here. You can see the dot between them. Now, these are all smooth on the sides, except for the 50, and you can see all the clad on each one of these. So these are the brass clad here, copper clad here. If we put them up next to each other, you can see the difference in color. See the copper color here and the brass here. That's all we have. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section. Have a great day from DC Coin World International.